Hello, thank you so much for subbing for me today. I wanted to make this really quick tutorial with a kind of an explanation of all of this stuff that I have on the sub plans because it's a lot, but it's really not that hard. So I'll go through them just kind of briefly with you so that you feel really confident with my students. So as far as procedures go, I have a couple of kiddos who only log in with one name, like their first name and etc. So just look through that. I haven't been Zoom bombed, but I don't want that to happen to you. So I just kind of tried to highlight some of the odd logins for some of my students, and some of them also go by their middle names instead of their first name. So hopefully you can see that on the roster, but should be pretty obvious who should be in there. Also, if you would do me a favor and record at least one of the lessons that you have with class teaching this in Zoom so that I can post it for my students who are absent and they can take a look at it later. As far as the lesson plan goes for creative writing, we are actually entering our genre roulette unit, which is really kind of super fun. Roulette because they spin a wheel for their prompt and their genre, and I'll show you where to find everything you need. The first 5 minutes I usually spend, because kids are always coming in a little bit late, with a do now. So I have a link to the slide for the do now. If you click on that, it will open up. There's going to be a little story here on the right hand side. I typically read it to them, or you can ask for a volunteer. And then I just want them to, in the chat, talk about the things that they're noticing insofar as the elements of fiction are concerned, and then also can they tell what genre the story is written in. And we talked already last class about the 5 different genres that we're going to study. And I just want them to kind of realize that even a really short 55-word story still contains all of those important elements that we should have in every piece of fiction, like plot, characterization, setting, theme, etc. So that's the do now, and that's the slide that you can access to show them and share your screen for them. And then the next 15 or 20 minutes, they have the opportunity to write their own 55-word story. So they are going to spin a genre wheel, and let me show you what that looks like on my screen here real quick. That's the prompt wheel. This is the genre wheel. I'm sure somebody will tell you, we had that one last time. It's different depending on what hour you're teaching, but just make sure that it's different than what they had last class. And actually, I did share with you a slideshow called Genre Roulette Slideshow, I believe. And if you want to look through that, it will tell you what we had in which hours. So you're teaching first and third and seventh. Oops. So that's the genre and prompt that they had. And if you would be so kind and do me a favor as to write what it is that they're doing in class with you, that would be really helpful. That's it in the lesson plans as well. So let me go back to your document. I usually time them. I give them about 15 minutes to write their stories. And then, sorry, I only showed you the genre thing. So here's the prompt one. The only time I ever respin is if it lands on prom and tragedy, because I don't want that on me. But everything else, they get what they get on the wheel, right? So spin the genre, spin the prompt, and then give them about 15 minutes to type up their stories. You can remind them that they should be typing these in their genre roulette portfolios. It's in week 15 of classwork. Again, I already introduced this to them, so they should be able to find it okay. But here's your access to the wheels, the prompt and genre wheels. Give them about 15 minutes to write. And then if they want to participate in the contest where they can win a virtual prize, depending on what hour you're in, there is a Padlet for each hour. I'll show you what that looks like really quickly. This would be first hours. They just post their story anonymously, and after everybody's had an opportunity, those 15 minutes to post the Padlet, then, and you can share the Padlet link with them per which class in the chat if you want. They also should have access to this. It's in Google Classroom and Classwork under the genre series. But, oh, actually, wait, I lied. Share the thing with them in the chat, because otherwise they will post to the Padlet that I use for everybody, and I have it set up a little differently for you. So just share with them in the chat their Padlet, if you would, that corresponds with their hour. And when everybody's had a chance to post, there's a little heart. They can like their favorite, tell them to only vote once, and then whoever wins, you can ask them to either tell the whole class it was me, that was mine, or they can just private chat you. And then if you would spin the virtual prize wheel with them, which looks like this. There's lots of different prizes and things available to the winner. And if you would just shoot me an email with the student that won and the prize that they earned at the end of the day or something, however you want to do it. Or each hour is cool too. The rest of the time they can just complete missing work or continue working on their stories if they weren't able to get them done in 15 minutes. That part is just so that they can compete in the competition. So if they're a little slower, that's okay. They just might miss out on a prize. And then for as far as ELA Lab goes, that one just reminds students who come in to log into Edgenuity. If I'm there, or sorry, if I'm not there, they can't take a unit test. And if they need a retake on a quiz or something, just tell them to shoot me an email. And if I'm near my computer, I'll add a retake for them. But I think that's it. Wishing you a wonderful, happy day with my students. Hopefully they're amazing for you. And thank you so much for taking care of my classes. I appreciate it.